This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability and a generous investment by Julianne Wrigley.
Let me revisit the destruction on the planet. 75% of planetary damage: water, soil, biodiversity. 40% of the greenhouse gases come from the globalized industrial system. We are talking about the biggest impact on the planet. And yet ecological farming and local food system can be the place where we do the opposite. We rejuvenate biodiversity, we save seeds, we build up organic fertility of the soil, we conserve water, and we mitigate and adapt climate change. We literally have capacity through organic farming to take out much more of the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere than is being put into it. But of course, we get rid of nitrogen oxides that come from nitrogen fertilizers. We get rid of methane that comes on the one side from factory farming, and on the other side from wasting 50% of the food. That's the figure for this country. 50% food is wasted. It's wasted on the farm through imposing uniformity. It's wasted in supermarket shelves because of the long distance travel with a best before date. And I was so happy I had to do a convocation in one of the Washington colleges. And the students cooked a wonderful dinner for me. So I innocently asked, I said, which organic farm supplied the dinner? And they all had grins on their face, and they weren't telling me. I said, what's the secret? They said, it's all dumpster dived. You know? And they explained to me about this new culture of preventing food waste in doing dumpster diving. And that's why, I really pay tribute to the young people. They come up with such amazing things to face these giants and to change the insanity to sanity. Because all these initiatives are growing, organic is growing, local food is growing, seed saving is growing, there's a new attempt at seed and food dictatorship. There's now an attempt to criminalize seed saving. Already in Pennsylvania and Maryland, notices have been served to seed libraries. In the case of Pennsylvania, a statement was made: agri-terrorism is a very, very real scenario. And where does agri-terrorism come? From the ancient seeds that we have grown for hundreds of years. Heritage seeds and ancient seeds pose a threat. GMOs are totally safe, They should be deregulated. The law basically is a law imposing uniformity. It says it shall be unlawful to sell, offer for sale, expose for sale, which is exchange between people, or transport any seed subject to the provisions of this act. Any seed. They tried the same last year in Europe, and we built a huge seed freedom movement there with the European Parliament. There's a new French film made by the French called Seed Wars, and they just sent me the link for YouTube. So I looked at it, and it was really nice to go back to last year and the mobilizing we did. The law was sent back to the European Commission. But there are 19 states where such legislation to make biodiversity and local seeds illegal. 19 states, and Arizona is one of them. Now, a similar law was introduced in India, same year 2004, when your laws are changing. They've been kind of kept in cold storage all these years, and they're being brought out now. And the fact that they're being brought out now is because the dictators are panicking because of democracy. If all these seeds are available, how will they collect royalties from toxic GMO seeds? Sooner or later, that market will shrink. So the only way to make that market grow is shut down the rest. Now, in 2004, they tried to do a similar law, and I can just see how 2004 they became very active. And I saw these two lines in our financial papers. So I immediately got in touch with parliamentarians, got a text of this Seed Act. These acts are called Seed Acts. And therefore compulsory licensing and compulsory registration of any seed. I studied it, I traveled the country. When any occasion like this happens, I just get out there with communities and travel the country and inform them and show them and translate into different languages. And by the end of it, hundreds of thousands of farmers had signed a petition telling our Prime Minister, which I carried to him, that we are in the land of Gandhi. And when the British tried to impose salt laws, Gandhi walked to the beach, picked up the salt from the sea, said, nature gives it for free. We need it for our survival. We will continue to make salt. We will not obey your laws. And we take inspiration from the salt satyagraha. Satyagraha was Gandhi's word for the force of truth. Satya is truth. Agraha is the force, truth force. And he said, as long as the illusion exists that unjust laws must be obeyed, so long will slavery exist. And he worked on this first in South Africa against the apartheid regime. 1930, he used it against the salt laws. So I told our Prime Minister, we are in the land of Gandhi. And if you impose such a law, we will have to do a seed satyagraha. So it won't work anyway, because we have higher duties to higher laws. Laws of corporate monopoly are degraded laws. Laws of protecting biodiversity and providing good food to all through saving good seed is the higher law, both in terms of the laws of the earth and the planet, as well as laws of justice and human rights and human dignity and human freedom. We now have to decide our role in the future of food. Will it be a role of engaging with building the alternatives that allow all life on earth to prosper while bringing us good food? Or will it be a future where we witness in passivity this unfolding of a deeper dictatorship? Now, the other dictatorships were around speech. If I can't speak my beliefs, I don't die. The difference between this dictatorship over seed and food and all earlier dictatorships is because this is touching on the very basis of our survival.
This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability for educational and non-commercial use only.